Today, I embrace my free will and acknowledge the truth that all have free will. My name is Jax, and this is Eagle's View. I've come to the awareness that the universe is always supporting my choices, right? I feel like each of our souls is born into these bodies with predetermined experiences that our soul must grow through in order to evolve and expand. I believe in multiple lifetimes. So it's an accumulation of experiences each lifetime for the purpose of evolution. I believe that we come here with a clean slate, memory wise. And part of our journey is getting back around to where we remember who we are in essence. When little kids are small, between, ages of when they're born and maybe up to 3 or 4 years old, I feel like they are the closest to what we naturally are. A representation of our purest energy resides in children before we taint them with our societal practices and condition them to the human experience. But children, even some of them, maybe you've heard stories, talk about their previous lives and who they were because they remember at that point. It hasn't been programmed out of them at that point. So they remember who they are, and they know that they are powerful creators, and they know all these wonderful things. That's why children are what we should emulate, children and nature. So we are all here on our individual journeys. A little more than that, I personally believe that we are all extensions of universal consciousness experiencing itself in various human forms, various experiences in different human forms, but we are all a part of the same universal consciousness. So here we are having our individual experiences and the predetermined journey for our individual souls. And we have our inner guidance, our inner being, because we don't remember who we are. Once we become a certain age, it's all about relearning or remembering, right? So we are on our individual paths, and our guide is our inner guidance. It's our intuition. It's our soul speaking to us through the indicators within our body, right? You get indicators within your body when you're on the right path and when you're deviating from the path. You get the flutters, you get the upset stomach, you get all kinds of things, all sorts of indicators, warning signals that something has gone awry. You have your intuition, and then you also have coincidences. There are no coincidences. This is my belief. There aren't any coincidences, but the universe will send signals again to help you get back into alignment with your soul's purpose. So the universe will send signals through people telling you something, or you catching a glimpse of it on TV or whatever it is, etc., etc. Those are also indicators and warnings and ways that our highest consciousness is trying to help us, fulfill the purpose of this lifetime, right? And to stay on track with it. It's like a GPS system though, right? If you ignore the GPS for so long, she's telling you, turn left. And then you miss the left turn. And then she's like, in 500 feet, make a U-turn. And you miss the U-turn. And she's like, in 500 feet, make a U-turn. Like, make a U-turn. It'll tell you a couple times, make a U-turn. It'll try to, have you go back. It'll say everything except the exact words of, you going the wrong way, right? But, and then my light changed. So that's like confirmation. You didn't see it, but that is a way that we communicate here. So thank you for that confirmation. But after a while, if you ignore the warnings, you ignore the messages, you ignore the gentle nudges from your GPS system, it's going to reroute you, because it's going to say, okay, well, you don't want to go that way, although it's likely the funnest way. It's likely the most enjoyable experience, to where you are learning everything that you need to learn, and everything that you need to be doing, you are doing, but you're having the most fun in this human life doing so. Well, when we ignore the inner guidance for so long, then it's like, well, okay, you don't want to go that route. Okay, so what route do you want to go? And I will support you in that. Now, you need to take heed that the new route may not be as enjoyable. There may be significantly more traffic. It may take much longer and you're going to use way more gas, but eventually you will get there, right? And in human terms, I guess, it's not going to be as fun. You may experience a lot more heartache, a lot of challenges, a lot of pain that you could have avoided had you just followed the path, but it's your world. So the universe is always supporting us. And since I've come into this awareness, I use 3 things to remind myself of that fact. Number 1, I will say, when I ask, it is given. And that reminds me to be intentional with the words that I allow to come out of my mouth and the thoughts that I give energy to, because they are creating for me. You get what you ask for, whether you want it or not. And so with that in mind, it is more beneficial for me to use my energy only toward experiences that I desire to have. And it is a sheer waste of energy to sit and complain about things that I do not have or I do not want. Because even in saying you do not want it, you are giving energy to it. And where you send your energy, it's going to grow something for you. So when I ask, it is given, reminds me, hey, Jax, you need to be mindful of the things you say and the things that you think and that you give energy to. Number 2 is, when I seek, I find. And this reminds me that any question that I have, answers are available to me. Just like this knowledge, I've become aware of it. It's always been there. I'm just now becoming aware of it, but it's been there. But the fact that I started a journey of self-discovery and personal development, and I became very curious of things, and I actually allowed that curiosity to guide me, Deepak Chopra said in an interview with Tom Bilyeu on impact theory, he said, begin to question your habitual certainties. And that resonated with me so much when I watched that interview like several years ago. And that will come back to me. Question your habitual certainties. Those are the things that we have come to believe as fact through habit, through practice, through society telling us that this is what's true and that this is what we should believe and this is how we should move. Question everything and allow, your inner guidance and the universe to reveal to you what is true for you. When I seek, I find also reminds me to be intentional about where I spend my energy currency. Like, that is the most important thing that you can pay. That's a very valuable thing. Because why? What you give your attention to grows. What you give your attention and your focus to grows. Just think about it in your own life. The things that you talk about the most, you seem to get more of. If you find yourself, say, complaining about your job, you hate the drive, you don't like your coworkers, you don't have a good time there, it isn't a fun job for you. The more that you complain, the more things that you notice that you have to complain about. And the cycle just continues because what you seek, you find, right? And on the flip side, or the other end of the spectrum, anything that you choose to celebrate and focus on things that you perceive to be good, you start to notice more and more good things to celebrate. That's the way that goes. Number 3, when I knock, doors are opened for me. This reminds me to follow the divine inspiration that is given to me, right? You've asked for things, it's given, but you have to follow the divine inspiration of your inner being. Follow your heart's desire. Follow your soul's guidance. A challenging thing for me along my journey was learning to trust my inner guidance. Learning to trust that my intuition and my inner guidance is always leading me on the path for my greatest good. Always. So when I get a divine inspiration, even if it's something that is uncomfortable, it's safe for me to trust it because I'm never going to steer me wrong. It's very challenging to kind of deprogram all of the societal programming that has been placed in us since childhood. Like I said, since we were kids, children, before we get a hold to them and before we taint them with our practices and tell them how things should be and to be realistic, to face reality. And so it's been quite a journey of getting back to what do you know is best for you? Who are you? Who were you before you were told who you should be? What naturally feels good for you before you were told that that's not realistic? So when I knock, doors are open for me. Says Jax, you need to be open to receive what you've asked for, especially if it comes in a way that challenges you because it's uncomfortable. I worked in healthcare for 13 years because I've always known that my purpose is tied to helping people. I've always known that. And so I was feeling like, okay, how can I do that and still live, make a living, and get into something that has longevity, right? And so I went into healthcare, obviously, thinking, yeah, healthcare is all about helping people. And 13 years later, I didn't find that to be the case. And so, my path has taken me somewhere else. Toward the end of my career in healthcare, I had a lot going on in life. It's like a crescendo of events over the course of my life led to this point. And this is where I was at this point where I was really like, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue on or not? And so, I said, man, I can't continue this work for sure. This does not support my wellness. This is not fulfilling. It doesn't challenge me in ways that benefit me or anybody I'm connected to. So I can't do this anymore. I need something else to do. And then I let it go. In fact, I forgot about it until the reply from the universe came to me very clearly. And the instruction was, okay, we're going to quit that job. And it's like, I'm sorry, wait, what? We're going to quit. We don't have another job yet, Okay. And that's it. I was actually on vacation with my family at the beach. I love the beach. I love being around large bodies of water. I'm in the water and it's like, this is what we are going to do. I want you to put in your notice when you get back. And I was like, okay. And I did. I got back. I put in my notice without another job secured, with no clue of where we were going to go next or what we were going to do. And that is something that a lot of us are challenged with, though. You say that you want to have this experience, and the universe goes and lays it out for you, and then comes and tells you, okay, this is what we need to do. This is literally how I pictured in my mind. Hey, I want to do this thing. I want to have this experience. And the universe says, okay, bet. Goes and sets it up, sets up people along the path, gets everything ready for you. And then comes back and says, okay, your turn. I got everything ready. I just need you to take this step and continue following the path. And we're going to get you to what you say you want to desire. And the first step is something that is uncomfortable for us. And we're like, no, I don't want to do it that way. And the universe is like, are you mad? Again, it's not going to impose on your free will. So if you say that you want to have an experience, but then you don't want to follow the steps that I've set out for you to have this experience, you're determined to have it your own way. Okay, I'm going to support it. And we're gonna, keep you on track as in let you experience what you want to experience until it becomes uncomfortable enough for you, until you reach your threshold of uncomfortability and you say, okay, tell me what to do and I'll do it. That is what we're going to do. You have free will, friend. The universe is saying, hey, I know what you want to experience. You've told me what you want to experience. And the thing is, you know, we might say, oh, I want more money. I want a job that pays me more money. That's what you say, but what you really want is freedom. What you really want is to not feel the pressure of trying to live up to a standard that maybe even isn't yours, but you're trying to follow it so that you fit in. But we're not talking about that today, and the universe is saying, I know what you really want. And the freedom that you really want is over here. The freedom is over here, where you're doing something that you actually enjoy, where you're doing something that serves your soul's purpose, where you're doing something where you're able to use the gifts and the talents and the abilities that are within you, that are unique to you, you know, that when you use, others benefit from. We have that over here for you. And then the money, that's just a byproduct. Like, the money won't even be a focus for you anymore. And since it won't be a focus in a negative sense, it will flow to you with ease. But it's over here. And you have to leave this job. And we say, oh, but this is the most money that I've ever made at a job. This is the most tenure I've ever had at a job. You think I'm gonna start all over? So it's a battle between you and you, but the universe never imposes on your free will. So why is it that we want to impose on the free will of others? The universe doesn't even impose on our free will. So why do we want to impose on everybody else's free will? For instance, the whole institution of going to grade school, finishing that, going to college. You need to go to college. You need to get a degree. You need to then get a job. If you're not married by a certain age, if you don't have children by a certain age and you're a woman, and if you don't participate in organized religion, many of them shun you or ridicule you. If you aren't striving to be within certain hierarchical brackets of society, they shun you and look down on you and talk down on you. If you don't follow the laid out plan and map of how, you know, society says a human life is supposed to be lived, then there is an issue. But the universe isn't imposing itself on any of us. We all have free will. It's your choice to fall in line. And it's your choice to listen to what is true for you, to listen to the guidance of your inner being and your soul, and to follow your purpose, even if it doesn't align with everything and everyone else. Today, I embrace my free will, and I acknowledge the truth that all have free will. If you've made it this far, I invite you to hit the like button, smash the subscribe, support Eagles View, and leave a comment letting me know what you find most challenging about embracing your free will. Remember, when you ask, it is given. When you seek, you find. And when you knock, doors are opened to you. Bye, y'all.